Let us be brutally honest for a moment. You have worked hard for 40 years, sacrificing your time, your energy, and your youth to build a future that you were told would be golden. But now, as you look at the world in 2026, does that future feel as secure and as bright as you were once promised? Many of you wake up in the middle of the night with a heavy, cold feeling in your chest, wondering if the numbers in your bank account will actually go the distance. You are not alone in this fear, and more importantly, you must understand that this deep-seated anxiety is not your fault. The truth is that the retirement game has been carefully rigged against you by a complex system that profits from your confusion and your silence. While you were busy working and raising a family, invisible traps were being set to quietly drain your life savings and keep you in a state of constant financial worry. Today, we are going to expose these predatory traps and look at the real, unfiltered data that the mainstream media refuses to discuss in public. We are going to move past the comforting myths and look at how you can take back absolute control of your financial destiny right now. According to the latest data from the Federal Reserve, the median household approaching retirement today has between $185,000 and $200,000 saved. For many of you, this news comes as a total shock because we have been told for decades that you must have at least $1 or $2 million just to survive. When you hear that the average person has less than 1/5 of that goal, it is very easy to feel like the race is over and you have already lost. But I want you to hear me clearly when I say that having $200,000 is infinitely better than having zero. It only becomes a disaster if you continue to fall into the psychological and financial traps that we are about to discuss in detail. The problem in 2026 is not just how much money you have accumulated, but how fast that money is being taken from you by forces that are designed to be invisible. Inflation and the skyrocketing cost of healthcare are very real threats. But the biggest dangers are often the decisions that feel normal because everyone else is making them. The first and perhaps most dangerous trap is what we call the monthly payment trap, or the subscription-based life. In our modern world, nearly every product and service has been turned into a recurring monthly installment or a digital subscription. That new luxury car, that upgraded high-end smartphone, or even that premium home security system feels manageable because the monthly cost sounds so small and insignificant. But what you are actually doing is renting your life and your freedom one small item at a time. Each new monthly payment is a heavy chain that anchors you to a job or a lifestyle that prevents you from ever being truly independent. Wealthy individuals do not ask if they can afford the monthly payment. They ask what the total cost of ownership is over the next 10 years. When you agree to a $500 monthly car payment, you are not just buying a vehicle for transportation. You are giving away the massive potential growth of that money in the diversified stock market. Over a decade, that single car payment could have grown into $100,000 of pure financial security for your old age. The second trap is the emotional reward trap, which is often expressed by the dangerous phrase, "I earned this." After a long and grueling career filled with stress and personal sacrifice, it feels logical and even right to treat yourself to a luxury vacation or a major home renovation. You feel like you deserve a reward for all those years of hard labor and discipline. But very often, we use spending as a way to numb the stress of our lives rather than attacking the root causes of that stress. The wealthy understand that true success is not found in expensive retail therapy or flashy possessions. Success is found in the freedom to say no to things you do not want to do and people you do not want to be around. Instead of buying a trophy to prove your success to your neighbors, invest in the freedom that allows you to never have to prove anything to anyone again. The third trap is what many call the safe cash trap, and it is a silent thief of your future. This is especially common among those over the age of 60 because you have been told that the stock market is far too risky for someone in your stage of life. So you keep your hard-earned money in a standard savings account or a low-yield certificate of deposit because you want to see a stable, unchanging number. But in 2026, sitting on a pile of cash is actually one of the riskiest moves you can possibly make. With inflation quietly but aggressively eating away at your purchasing power, a dollar hidden under your mattress today will buy much less a few years from now. You are losing your wealth slowly and silently, and because there is no sudden market crash, you do not even realize the damage until your grocery bill has doubled. The wealthy understand that not investing is a guaranteed loss of wealth, and they use diversified portfolios to stay far ahead of the rising cost of living. The fourth trap is the house equity illusion, which has misled generations of families. We have been conditioned by society to believe that our primary home is our greatest asset and our main source of wealth. While owning a home is a wonderful personal milestone, you must remember that you cannot go to the pharmacy and pay for your medicine with your kitchen cabinets. If the vast majority of your net worth is tied up in the walls and the dirt of your house, you are what we call house rich and cash poor. Unless you are prepared to sell the house, downsize to a smaller unit, or take out a reverse mortgage, that equity is just a number on a piece of paper. In your retirement years, you do not need theoretical equity. You need actual spendable cash flow. Furthermore, a large home often comes with a fifth trap, which is high maintenance costs and rising property taxes that can drain your remaining cash. The fifth trap is lifestyle creep, which is the silent killer of even the most promising financial futures. When you finally get that raise or that unexpected year-end bonus, the natural human instinct is to immediately upgrade your quality of life. You might move to a nicer apartment, buy a faster car, or start eating at expensive restaurants every weekend. But as your lifestyle expenses rise, your ability to save and invest stays exactly the same as it was before. This means you are no closer to true freedom than you were when you earned half as much money. The wealthy do the exact opposite. They let their productive assets grow first, and they only increase their lifestyle much, much later. They understand that a high income is absolutely not the same thing as true wealth. The sixth trap is the paralyzing fear of investing at an older age. Many people hit the age of 60 and think it is far too late for the market to help them change their situation. But the wealth multiplier effect is not just for the young and the adventurous. If you have $500,000 today and you leave it in a productive environment, it could double to $1 million in roughly 7 years based on historical patterns. Even at the age of 65, you likely have 20 or 30 years of active life ahead of you. That is plenty of time for the power of compounding to do the heavy lifting and the hard work for you. Stopping your investments too early is like putting out a campfire just as it is starting to produce real, sustainable heat. The seventh trap is the tax refund trap, which is a common misunderstanding of how money works. Many people get very excited when they receive a large check from the government every spring. They treat it like a surprise bonus or a gift of free money. But you must realize that was your money all along. You simply gave the government an interest-free loan for an entire year. The wealthy optimize their taxes in advance to ensure that every single dollar is working for them every single month of the year. They do not wait for a refund. They keep their money in their own hands where it can be invested and grow. There's also an eighth trap that is becoming more common in 2026, which is the supporting adult children trap. In a difficult economy, many parents feel a deep obligation to bail out their adult children who may be struggling with debt or career issues. While your heart is in the right place, sacrificing your own retirement security can create a much larger problem for your family in the long run. If you run out of money in your 70s or 80s, you will become a much bigger burden on your children than if you had simply set firm boundaries today. Now that we have exposed these traps, how do we move forward and win in this rigged game? The first and most critical step is to shift your entire focus from total net worth to consistent cash flow. Ask yourself this question every day. How much money is coming into my bank account every month without me having to trade my physical hours for it? This is where the 4% rule becomes your most powerful tool and your best friend. If you have a portfolio of $500,000, you can reasonably expect to withdraw $20,000 a year without significantly touching the principal. When you combine that with Social Security, which averages about $24,000 a year for a single person, you are looking at a total of $44,000. For many people, $44,000 a year is more than enough to live a dignified, comfortable, and peaceful life. This is especially true if you have eliminated your largest monthly expense, which for most people is housing. This brings us to the smart strategy of house hacking, downsizing, or relocating to a lower-cost area. If you are currently living in a large 4-bedroom house that you no longer need, you are paying for space you do not use and taxes that serve no purpose. By moving to a smaller, more energy-efficient home, or even renting out a portion of your current property, you can suddenly free up thousands of dollars every month. That money can then be redirected into investments that provide you with even more long-term security. Another powerful and fulfilling strategy is to find a sense of purpose that also happens to generate some extra income. Many retirees find that they are actually much happier when they have a small part-time project or a hobby that pays them for their time. Whether it is consulting in your old professional field, opening a small online shop, or starting a service in your local community, this extra income takes the pressure off your savings. It allows your investments more time to grow undisturbed while keeping you engaged, active, and connected to the world. In 2026, the most valuable asset you have is not your bank balance, but your personal awareness and your discipline. The world is full of loud voices telling you to spend, to worry, and to follow the crowd off the financial cliff. But the path to true and lasting freedom is to do the exact opposite of what the crowd is doing. Stay consistent, tune out the noise of the headlines, and remember that wealth is built by doing less, but doing it with massive, focused intention. You do not need to be a mathematical genius or a Wall Street expert to win this game. You just need to be slightly more disciplined and much more aware than the average person sitting next to you. The question is no longer about what you did not know or the mistakes you made in the past. The question is, which of these invisible traps are you going to break today? Are you going to continue playing a rigged game designed for you to lose? Or are you going to start writing your own rules? Awareness is the first real deposit into your future of total freedom. Take a deep breath and look at your personal finances with fresh, objective eyes. You have the power to change your trajectory today, regardless of your current age or your starting point. The second million always comes much faster than the first, and the peace of mind you seek is closer than you think. Thank you for spending this valuable time with me today. If this new perspective has helped you see things more clearly, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know which of these traps was the most eye-opening for you, and what specific steps you are taking to protect your future. We are all in this together, and by sharing our collective wisdom, we all grow stronger and more secure. Until next time, stay focused on your freedom and keep moving forward.